Ever wonder who is Slavoj Žižek? His name itself is very alluring and very difficult to pronounce, so let's get started. Who is Slavoj Žižek? Slavoj Žižek was born in 1949 in Slavoj, Slovenia, from a middle-class family. His parents were both atheists. Currently he is one of the faculty at Department of Philosophy of the University of Slavoj. Žižek is a philosopher and cultural critic. His works and subjects include continental philosophy, psychoanalysis, political theory, art criticism, film criticism, Marxism, Hegelianism and theology. British Observer newspaper describes him as the new messiah of the left because he is the most dangerous philosopher in the West. Žižek has published several articles and journal and over 50 books. In 1989, Žižek published his first English book, entitled The Sublime Object of Ideology. In this book, he departed from traditional Marxist theory to develop a more analyzed materialist conception of ideology that drew heavily on Lacanian psychoanalysis and Hegelian idealism. Žižek's work is infamously idiosyncratic. It features striking dialectical reversals of received common sense, a ubiquitous sense of humor, a patented disrespect towards the modern distinction between high and low culture, and the examination of examples taken from the most diverse cultural and political fields, which makes him famous, and a lot of youth are inclined to listen him and not to forget his character sniffing and touching his nose because of his nervous step makes him also popular and endear a lot of his listener. And his work, Žižek warns us, as he warns us, has a very serious philosophical content and intention. He challenges many of the founding assumptions of today's left liberal academy, including the elevation of difference or otherness to ends in themselves, the reading of the Western Enlightenment as implicitly totalitarian, and the pervasive skepticism towards any context-transcendent notions of truth or the good. As a psychoanalyst, he is very focused on desire and the big other, in which he reconciles with his other's work. Singularity of philosophy has gave him robust challenge in his work as he described love. Love simply means it's an urgent impossibility that I can be without you, for that we need to have singularity. Žižek's work are always complex and demanding. It is never easy to understand his ideology. Even though his work is difficult to understand, he maintains a demanding schedule of sell-out public appearances and lecture across all over the world and through YouTube that received hundreds of thousands views. This shows that he is popular. Many people are eager to listen to a philosopher such as Žižek, who has thought deeply about global problems of poverty, ecology and political repression. He also had a debate with psychologist Jordan Peterson on Marxism, his political view. In 1990, Žižek ran for a seat on the four-member collective Slovenian presidency, but narrowly he was missing the office. In a 2008 interview with Amy Goodman on Democracy Now!, he described himself as a communist in a qualified sense, and in another appearance in October 2009 he described himself as a radical leftist. But not to neglect, he was influenced by Stalin, Marx and Lenin. Despite his activity in liberal democratic projects, Žižek has continued to identify himself as a communist, and has been critical of right-wing circles, such as nationalists, conservatives, and classical liberals both in Slovenia and worldwide. Criticism. Slavoj Žižek was accused as self-plagiarism because most of his writings contain the same thing, but in short, he replied, "In no way can I thus be accused of plagiarizing another's line of thought, of stealing ideas. I nonetheless deeply regret the incident.